Today inside the program, Radio Democracy go talk to the two political party them we na the ruling and the main opposition for talk about the makeup of the political parties registrations commission regulations commission PPRC for ban political rally ahead of the June 24, 2023 election. Well, the political parties registration the political party regulation commission March 27 this year be meet with civil society, election management bodies, security sector, and development partner them for see how they go regulate the 2023 election. And one of the results of this meeting now for ban street rallies during the upcoming election for ensure they give strength to peace and security during this election. And come with options them as how the political parties them go able for meet with their supporters them and able address them and pass them the information without street rallies. But within the political parties, APC and SLPP make up of this. Inside the studio, I want to welcome Ade Macaulay, the Deputy Campaign Manager, Samura 2023 Presidential Campaign Western Area. Good morning and welcome to the program, Ade Macaulay.
Good morning, listeners and viewers.
And also want to welcome Lahai Lawrence Lima, the National Publicity Secretary for the ruling SLPP party. Good morning and welcome to the program. Good morning, Salon.
Good morning, Anchit. Good morning, listeners.
Okay. Before we go to that, we're going to continue for day with me inside the program. We go quick now the Political Parties Regulations Commission and come with the decisions and the reports. We said them ban political rallies them. Quick one, we go to studio 2 and listen to the reports.
Well, basically, the campaign mode will be get for zeroing on an evaluation of street rallies. We want for see whether they're still necessary or they don't outlive their usefulness. So we put that question there to the political parties. Then we all sit down and deliberate on them and come out with a position statement, whether for maintain them or in the alternative for abolish them.
So then political party they are waiting them be put forward to now with regards to this campaign mode.
Basically, we contention at the commission is that the street rallies were meant to bring in supporters to the streets and for send campaign messages to them for them to be able to win over their support. But over the years, the rallies and they don't transform them into some platform for lawlessness. Where they say when they call out their supporters out in the streets for rally, then they attack the political opponents by way of invective, mamikos and other things. Then they also destroy the opponents in campaign materials, posters, and then they also attack passive political opponents, then persons and then property, throw stones at people, their house, broke people, their shops, and all of them hills and days. So we lay them bare at the table, and we ask all the political parties, for we all look at the issues they are, patriotically, devoid of political sentiment. Now we come out with a decision as to whether for maintain the street rallies or for do otherwise.
So what's in the decision wanna be totally agreement?
The decision eventually, the consensus was that we abolish the street rallies them, and that political parties now they rally now designated areas where the police could provide security coverage. So all of the political parties who are in attendance and all 17 registered political parties that be in attendance, they all be in agreement that law we abolish the street rallies there.
Including the APC party.
Including the APC party. The Secretary General himself was there, Dr. Richard Conte was there, and Marie Tambaka, then be there and then 3 represent the APC. Of course, the APC and the SLPP then raised certain issues of concern in terms of the enforcement of this ban. I mean, their concern basically have been what go happen with people then where they go to then designated areas they have to go attend the party and campaign, and when they are coming from those designated areas, because they not go want when the supporters then they go and see them they converge in the street they head for the designated areas, the police intercept them. So we tell them, we assure them, say we also meet with the security sector actors them for more we decide on how the rules will be when people they go for the campaign and when they come out from the campaign.
So you talk about designated area. So how do you go about this when you mean designated area?
You can campaign in an open field, you can campaign in a stadium, a football field, a community field, and everywhere. I mean, so when it is your time for campaign, you tell the police then the areas then, because you are not going to campaign in one designated area.
So no street rallies for this particular election?
By the consensus we reached yesterday, yes, no street rallies. It's in the issues of us infringing on the rights of people, the right to assemble, the right to associate, all come up. But we also bring to their attention, say, whilst you are exercising your rights, the exercise of your rights therefore be premised on the respect for the rights of other people. Now the same right that we not say they violate when we go out in una rallies, because when they rallies and they go out, schools not open. Market women and they come in the markets and they close the markets them. I mean offices not open. And by that, you also they infringe on the rights of people for carry out their lawful businesses. And when we come out when attack private properties, when they infringe on the right of the other person. So all of this thing is about a balancing act. And elections is not about merriment, singing and dancing. Elections are supposed to be a period for reflection and an evaluation of your political actors. The one they will be done, they waiting and do. The one they wait they now waiting they do. The one they will can they waiting they intend for do.
This na thing way don't happen na election in a saloon. So why this different?
Why this difference? Because of the hills they will don't have highlight to you. See now then here they happen. And in fact I want to let people they know see then street rallies and a saloon no more they happen. You know they happen anywhere. I mean barring even all the internal threats where then rallies they are deposed. We even get external threats in this world of uncertainty. Now we left the dance. Saloon, we don't dance plenty. We don't marry plenty. Election, not to merriment. Election, you get forget deep reflection and evaluate the political actors then. And then you make an informed decision. The dance don't plenty.
These agreements are one way, according to you, now all the political parties them don't agree for make them ban all rally. Now just designated side and get for go and do their campaign. What will be the penalty for any party we go against these agreements? In
fact, one thing I told them yesterday, they had the option to even ban the rallies, or in the alternative, then we get the option for sale or maintain the rallies. Then they, but I bring to their attention, see, now most of them conduct and the way the public be they condemn, where political parties them they perpetrate, and the public them together outcry against them. Most of them conduct and the new political parties Act 2022 don't prescribe them conduct and they. And they not only prescribe them conduct and they make them unlawful, but they also don't prescribe penalties for anybody where they do. So they have the option, law ban the rallies or law maintain the rallies. But if we do maintain the rallies, any political party will call out people in the street, you get for own up to anything will happen. So they chose to abolish the rallies and follow campaign at designated areas. When you misconduct yourself in the manners we prescribe in the act, we'll come after you. The penalties then they in the form of a warning, and then if you warn, nobody not pay it, you fine. If you find the person repeat the same conduct, you may suspend. If you suspend, that not help, you may deregister.
With that now, Abdullahi Bangura, the chairman for the political parties registration regulation, they talk to Princess Pias inside that interview. He confirms the Political Parties Regulation Commission (PPRC) don't ban street rallies them during the 2023 election. Quick one, I start with the opposition at the Macaulay. You don't listen the intro we do, and also from the PPRC boss as an APC, the main opposition. What do you take on the ban of political rallies during the 2023 election?
The position of the APC remains unchanged. That is, it has been the tradition of political parties in the political cycle for engage in street rallies, and we've maintained this tradition for over 25 years. So it is our position that nothing stops us in a way. I mean, we are quite surprised by the statement of the PPRC chairman. Now, information that we opposed it, and we remain committed to opposing it. We believe now the constitutional right of individuals and political parties for engage in gatherings and movements we are lawful under the Constitution. So I want to we get that at the back of our mind where we did discuss this issue.
The PPRC boss advanced reasons them why them ban street rallies. We, according to them, they threaten public safety, public peace and public morality, and also infringe on the fundamental rights of other people. And also during this period, they make mention of issues that we don't come up from street rallies during by-elections and also elections They make reference to the killing na Tonkolimba. As an APC or the opposition, we not agree to them points where PPRC there is.
Make a hasten for make this very clear. Every gathering, regardless of the nature, always get the risk of disorder. I mean, we might as well ban football matches. We might as well ban paddle. We might as well ban street rallies of masked devils. In fact, we might as well ban parliament, because in the past 5 years, how many times we don't see fete inside parliament where police they get for come in and probably separate the two sides. So the point why they try to make is this: you don't go single out political rallies as the only one we get the risk of disorder and violence. Even football matches, in fact, history shows say football matches carry higher risk of disorder and violence than political rallies.
Okay, you state earlier say on a position still unchanged. What exactly are the main position of the main opposition party APC in terms of this whole PPRC the decision for banned street rally, where according to the chairman, this is in the consent of all political party them?
Well, I don't know what in the chairman mean by consent, but probably after here, we as a party go seek clarification from what the information I get is this, that our party opposed a total ban on street rallies. That is the first point. And the second point is this. Like I say, the APC remain unchanged in the position that political parties, not only limited to the APC, get a right for engage in rallies. This is how we galvanize the support base. In fact, when you make rallies in a festive environment, dancing, laughing, it brings people then closer to political parties. I agree they talk about is a time for reflection. The time for reflections now only done a bit. They're about for sleep. You begin member. When you wake now morning, you say you go pull money. For buyers, it's almost 700,000 euros a bag. We probably by tomorrow, dollar don't reach 23,000. These are the things that we need for reflect on as Sierra Leoneans in making sure that when we go to the ballot booth that day, you make a decision, we go better you tomorrow. You don't get nothing to do with street rallies. And make us say this, there has been too much of regulation of society, and it's bad. It basically infringes on the basic constitutional right under the 1991 Constitution. One, we they come out applying the car, for traveling in a convoy, we pass 10 vehicles. Two, for rally. I mean, where are we heading? For a police state? That is where we are now.
So in terms of the option where PPRC give on this particular decision, according to them, there are more better option for the political leader than connect, meet and sell policy with party supporter and other one them. You think that option then anyway not a better one?
Well, make I give you. Let the option be one where we as a political party get a right for choose as and when we want for choose up. And also PPRC for no say the regulatory powers we then get basically not go to the minute activities of political parties. I mean, if you begin show how political parties at the rally, how they for do this, how they for do that, you might just sit in our offices and not do anything. And if just finish, it say you get a choice for going to Brahma Atuga Stadium or for going to Stadium Shaka Stevie Stadium. One, why would they do their street rallies here? Cost effective. If we get today for saying that today na APC day for rally na Freetown, we not get that resources there for mobilize people in Brahma Atuga Field, Kisi Field, National Stadium. I mean, it's going to be too much of pressure on scarce resources. So for me, we as a political party still maintain, say, just like we Premier League they go on, you get thousands and thousands of people in the Kana Stadium watch football and go na the host. And so we said get the right for engage in political activities. This is not to everyday something.
But Ademakolo, in all of this, PPRC they act within the mandate for regulate all political party them. So why the objection as if they go out of line?
Well, in you in you regulating political parties, you for make sure say you not infringe on the constitution. Not forget say the legislation will give PPRC the power for regulate political parties. We now the Political Parties Regulation Act of 2022. Now one way subject to the 1991 Constitution. There is a provision at the 1991 Constitution 171 sub 15 where any law way inconsistent with the Constitution is null and void.
So in a whole, they say the PPRC not get the mandate for ban political rallies.
No, they're not getting mandate for ban political rallies because that is one thing with the Constitution guarantee.
But they are the political party regulations commission.
I finish my line of thought. Don't forget, in 2018, the Sierra Leone police force bring a ban on the movement of vehicle and people on the basis that security threat, now for security reasons. Augustine Mara, a lawyer, was arrested and detained for using the vehicle on elections day. A challenge at the Supreme Court, and the judgment of the Honorable Justice Brown are very, very, very clear. Nobody no get the right for restrict the movement of persons and vehicles without a state of emergency. So while we get that one there at the back of
so saying that the PPRC no get right for ban political rallies, you they represent the main opposition APC party. We just foresee the APC follow these regulations or una no go abide by them.
No misquote me. I not say PPRC no get the right. What they say is this: PPRC they act inconsistent with the 1991 Constitution, and Section 171 sub 15 of the 1991 Constitution say any law way inconsistent with the provision of the Constitution, which in this case now freedom of association and freedom of movement, it is null and void. So we not go come on and do say we dey go rally. This now something where we dey sit down, we think about, we discuss, and I go assure you say taking legal action at the Supreme Court is a possibility.
It's 2 months to election.
Well, when it comes to fundamental human rights, according to the Constitution, the Supreme Court gets 30 days for hear and give judgment on the matters. So it will never be too late.
So therefore, see court action?
Well, as I say, we as a political party go sit down and discuss them. And I don't tell you, say, taking legal action is on the table. I'm not saying we take legal action, no, but it is a possibility that it is on the table.
It's a second option of consideration from APC?
Well, as I say, we as a political party go sit there and discuss them. But just they tell you waiting at the rights, waiting at the various options.
Well, they're not totally ban movement and freedom. There are other options for bringing, party supporter them together.
When you tell me,
where according to them, this now for curtail so many things we street rally them don't they speak to we no good.
So you want tell me say for come out from PZ for can cutting tree. You tell me say you not get right for commodity grander. Not to restriction on the movement. I mean, let's just get serious here. Which gathering or movement of people they will not get risk of disorderliness and violence? I heard the chairman they talk about destruction of campaign materials. I they drive this morning they come now all along Congo Cross, Samoa and Banade. They don't cut all the face commodity.
Now Samoa no more you see.
Allow me, if you see any other one, you can talk
about. No, where you come, there are so many banners.
Well, now that one they miss it because I'm interested in. So basically, we don't get street value, but there is this destruction. I mean, what I think is this: the PPRC and the Sierra Leone police, they try for shark away of their responsibilities for provide security during processes where people they rally doing political rallies.
We come to the other studio guest, Lawrence Lima, National Publicity Secretary for the Salon People's Party, SLPP. They inside the program for talk on the party position for seeker the ban of street rallies ahead of the 2023 election. Lawrence Lima, you be done listen to the PPRC chairman, and also they be done pull and press release, and don't listen to Adi Macaulay inside the program. As the ruling party, what's now a decision or a view on the banning of street rallies ahead of 2023 election?
Well, as a party, we don't look at, first of all, what street rally they about. A part of the campaign program of the election cycle they enter into, as a way for sell your message to the citizens of Sierra Leone for make them buy into your message. But over time, the purpose for really put out the message through doing street rallies don't they lost in cause. You will find out, say, we don't get more time for managed security and peace issues during street rallies. And even after elections, we always don't engage in a bipartisan approach also for engage with the communities them for ameliorate the reprisal tensions. I mean the reprisals tensions then we can do in the minds of people them we born out of the tension we don't build up during the street rallies then they. And you find out say communities then we can get the individual grudges and then they look out for an opportunity for make them able for unleash them grudges then they. And then when you say rallies, especially when it comes to political parties, we get the potential for a mass crowd out, whether genuinely or whether they get for buy the crowd out. But again, everybody when they come out, they come with your motive, especially when the activities itself get for be mad with where people then get for intoxicate the mind with toxicants them. We go derailed the understanding of waiting at the essence of even listening to the messages. So we don't find us say over time, this don't put more pressure on governments and even on political parties for make we really pay attention. Make I give you an example. My school where I go, Holy Trinity. Now they take people in for exams more than say for instance more than 200. No matter how the population show up for the school. Why? Because the school want for keep a limited classroom, we will be able to get a better understanding of the concepts than when they teach. And you find out, say, if they send 100% for public examination, whatever happen, you get 50% pass for university, and you must get at least 30% for other tertiary institutions. So when you maintain a limited crowd for pass a message to, then they understand them better than when you get a mass crowd. Now, why we not averse to the ban? Because we think, say, as political parties, we are dissected by communities. If we want for talk, say, for instance, to the Dwazak community, we executive will get at that level. We can walk through them for mobilize people them at a particular center, for instance, in Dwazak community, where we go engage and talk to. And if we flag bearer go get for go there and talk to them, we go able for go to flag bearer there and talk to them. So we don't find out say over time because of the problems then we the street rallies the cause and because it drifts away from the very core essence of even the rally itself, it only create problems. So institutions of states when at the PPRC, precisely where they regulate political parties, put them forward to all political parties, say, these are the concerns where citizens of Sierra Leone, especially through CSOs, don't raise, that it derail the democratic process itself, and then concerns then they now inform even the amendment of the PPRC Act. And the responsibility of government as stated in one of the state's fundamental policies, Section 5, 2B, we actually talk say the government get the responsibility for the safeguard, security and peace of citizens. Government can take proactive measures as well in consent. In consultations with the representatives that we involve for make sure say then take a proactive step for preserve the peace, law and order in Sierra Leone. And as citizens as well, we got the responsibility under Section 13 of the very Constitution, especially we go under F. We as citizens for engage in conduct where they promote the advancement and good name of Sierra Leone. So, and I think say actually with considerations of all of them then thing there, we as a party now see say the decision for actually put on hold or ban on street rallies, it's something where is strenuous, but we get for go by them as much as not the best interest of this country where they seek. And we don't take examples from other countries where, for instance, like other countries and they see much of, they even see street rallies. What happens? Political parties goes house to houses, campaigning, talking to people, and people able to get the better sense of judgment for criticize them policies, even when they then get the one-on-one touch.
Okay.
And we think say that is a better alternative to getting that mass crowd out where they drift away from the very core purpose.
In summary, the ruling party supports within PPRC don't propose for ban street rallies.
In the best interest of the peace, law, and order of
and another side of arguments now that then they deprive the right of people for assembly, we now a fundamental right.
Well, if that right of assembly, as we all don't see over time, don't cause destruction of properties, lives, and also don't drift the very essence for which that street rally they occur, and then don't decide to say, okay, Sierra Leone insecurity, a big pass, every other thing, and in as much as you enjoy your own rights, not a recipe for make you also infringe on the enjoyment of my own rights. So for safeguard the rights of every other person, if the need for banning street rally, we also, again, not deprive the rights of people for make them able to participate in politics, the alternative is also given. And so we see say, if not the best interest of Sierra Leone in peace and security to serve, we need to go for it.
So in all of this way you don't state, another view they say, for the fact that the ruling party so swiftly agree with PPRC, view they go for say this now, something where PPRC don't decide with now already before they come out to other political party them.
No, of course this not you then decide now the whole who say everybody day. And the ruling party not just swiftly agree with this. If the APC says be in power, because one thing I will tell you, it's a huge burden on government for ensure say them protect the state, protect the peace and livelihood of every citizens. If the APC be in their self na power, then for embrace this more than any other political party. So the SSF attests to the very fact say street rallies don't cause problem, especially the management aspect of it. Now, given the very fact say the PPRC Act then don't review them, and it don't get other penalties them where they affect political parties, not to a lame duck as before. It's an act where they don't review, we get some potency for able to make sure say them bite political party in a way where at least it go affect them. So for make political parties self they attune or in conformity with some of the changes that they don't make in the PPRC Act, it's but proper that the PPRC as an institution and political parties also come to a consensus for decide the best way possible for the democratic process.
So according to PPRC, then do this all in the interest for ensure say there is peace and security in the country during this political term. But to get a very opposite view from APC, why you think say with the reason them way PPRC gay, we get the interest of all Sierra Leone and yet still the object?
Well, according to the PPRC chairman, the people them will get the authority for make decision in the APC were there and they subscribe. They actually raised concern as much as we raised that in the process of people heading to those assembly areas, waiting will go for be the mechanisms or the guidelines as to how when they come back, waiting will go for happen to them or how they will protect them as well. So the police as well as the PPRC go for work along with political parties for draw guidelines where all political parties being go for agree to. So if we have still not heard from the elected officials who attended that meeting and say anything, I will not want to subscribe that is an official position of the APC for say they not be subscribed, because you cannot be in the pond and out of the pond.
So Lima, you say una party supports the PPRC movement
in the best interest of Sierra Leone.
In the best interest of Sierra Leone, and PPRC option we then come with now for make people meet in a area where they don't select. But looking at communities, plenty communities no get SAI, for instance, community centers for meet. And Freetown, for instance, we in the capital city, we apart from the stadium, we are under renovation. So SAI no they will say about 3,000 or 4,000 or even 10,000 people go gather for make that address them. You know, things say going by this, una self as a party, una supporters then would be deprived for get a message from the leader.
It don't necessarily mean say you go to talk to everybody in that community. At least they represent quite a good number of representation of that community. You can speak up, you can speak to them, and at the same time put out stickers. Those stickers still sell the message. If people get questions for asks, they can even do them through the PROs of the parties, or then do them through the media, where the elected officials can now please. We can now engage the radio programs and able to talk or address some of those concerns they have. So there are so many ways we can cascade our information to we party supporters then for able to understand.
The party supporters sometimes seeing the candidates itself, they preach to them, or they count plenty changing in your mind, or go re-energize then position and time for interact with the political leaders them during the rally. So
I agree, but not to all candidates in this country go don't tell me say they don't interact face to face with President Ernest Bai Koroma, in spite of the fact say we don't go through former President Ernest Bai Koroma, in spite of the fact say we don't go through street rallies. Not to all Sierra Leoneans go say it don't interface and interact with President Bio one-on-one, even when President Bio get the energy, the time for going to almost every community in this country. But not to every Sierra Leoneans who actually don't meet and interface with them. But what's important that then they read them, then they listen them, and it go talk, the message reach them, they reach the people them, and through that, people are able to buy the messages of we leaders them we don't actually ascend through the throne of leadership in this country without even meeting those leaders one-on-one. Now, the issue also even with comparing political street rallies with football matches is quite different. For football matches, of course, we are going, there are players we go for play, we will spectate for ensure say who team win or who team not win. Here is different. You are going for a political message, we're not a competition in the sense, say people get for dinner pitch. You are going there to listen to your leaders. Whatever they get for you, get for informed your reflection. And so we think, say, it requires attentiveness, it requires time for make able for understand what they tell you better, reflect on them, and look for another opportunities for ask questions.
You don't state on a point in all of this PPRC decision. And one thing we emphasize on you, say, on agree to PPRC then decision for ban street rally because of the interest of Sierra Leonean. But when you look at this decision, not all Sierra Leonean get for take part param. Everybody gets outside they support and belong. This not in the interest of Sierra Leonean, or this not in the interest of the party SLPP directly?
This, after you say me Sierra Leone, I get SLPP, I belong to SLPP. But Sierra Leone comes first. And this decision where the PPRC actually discuss or negotiate with political parties, not just SLPP Bindidi, APC Bindidi. They all subscribe. They all reach consensus. Waiting now been the concerns now about guidelines. And that guidelines they then say they go work on. So it's about SLPP interest, or it's about the interest of Sierra Leone, because in as much as it therefore guarantee the safety of Sierra Leoneans, very much needful for me.
Lima, is the SLPP afraid of campaigns?
Why would the
SLPP
be afraid? SLPP don't put crowd now. Everybody call Wutete. SLPP don't put crowd in the days of Pa Solomon Berra of blessed memories. Yet we still lost the election. President Ernest Bai Koroma under in leadership, the APC don't pull crowd, even though they may give them 20,000 leons for let them come out. But President Bio beat them in elections.
You get evidence to that.
But of course, you be the see on social media. That is not a hidden. It's not a hidden truth. So, but what you and besides, you talking about evidence. Yes, I even meet to say that they give money to them. Now, government warfare and that. So these are not things. So, but again, we try for talk. At the end of the day, who that you see that they share money to. Now, people them way. Then they feel say easily then go able for derail from the focus. Where sometimes not even register for vote. At the end of the day, then they can then at the jamboree aspect fight among themselves. And this is not something where we feel say it augur well for the peace, progress, and advancement of this country.
Okay. Continue for the way in case you just tune in. You dey listen to Lahai Lawrence Lima, National Publicity Secretary for the Sierra Leone People's Party. As today inside the program Radio Democracy, they talk to the two political party, them the ruling SLPP and the main opposition APC on PPRC then decision for ban street rally, and so far they don't get and take on this particular decision where PPRC don't take.
Adi Makoli, Deputy Campaign Manager, Western Area, Samura Kamara 2023 presidential campaign. And earlier you don't state in a position as a party, the main opposition party, as to think of PPRC, then take on ban of street rallies. If this ban stand, what in the party as what in as APC thinks could be the impact to una during the election?
Okay, before I answer your question, make I just go back to one or two things or comments where me co-panelists here make. Interestingly, Lahai Lawrence Lima, the spokesperson or the PRO for the SLPP, say the reason why we don't need street rallies, not to everybody you need for talk to our communities. Well, I would tell Lahai Lawrence Lima, say for we at the APC, every Sierra Leonean important, because we want each and every vote of every Sierra Leonean for make sure, say, we bring a better tomorrow for them. They slept yesterday, petrol was 6,500. They slept yesterday, a bag of rice was 200,000 leones. They slept yesterday, dollar to leones was 7,500. They woke up today, a bag of rice now 700,000 leones. They woke up today, a liter of petrol now 21,500 leones. They woke up today, the dollar now 22,100. These are the issues we relevant to each and every Sierra Leonean. Now it make we as a political party want for engage each and every Sierra Leonean. All the more reason why we want for engage in street rallies, because it is our constitutional right, and we believe say, it is an effective way for interact with the political supporters there. And you raise a very serious point. APC, we're not a big party. Now we get 80% of the supporters of political parties in Freetown. So if you say, "Let go na Brahma to the field on National Studio," we no go flop there. The only side we go able for flop na treat, and now we constitutional right. But for come to your answer, what's the effectiveness we get?
It's the impact on our campaign.
It's not about impact. For me, it is about rights of Sierra Leoneans for engage, in free movement, and forget the right for assemble as and when they want. This issue of seeking to regulate each and every conduct of political parties. I was part of the convoy that was pelted with tear gas on Sunday, just because they say you convoy not for past 10. I mean, when did we start having these laws? Yes.
The issue of we don't emphasize on the right of movement and gathering. Now, one way, according to PPRC, totally they need tap nobody not for move, gather and talk to them supporter. It's just that according to PPRC, they find more better and appropriate measures. But from which you don't say, it's like you state like for say PPRC totally, they try for deprive citizen of their political rights. We now for me to connect and give the leader then the chance for connect and talk to them people, sell them policy and all of that. But this not to PPRC state.
Well, they might think that is what they stated. But the impact of what they say, now in that one day, say they engage in street rallies, it means say you not go engage in dance from one point to the other. But we they see them will they dance na street. We they see football teams that they win games in a stadium, then come on a stadium, dance, they choose how they go. I mean,
so you think say the football and the rally, political rallies, not the same? Take into consideration hate speech during campaigns and also music where people can regard as immoral.
Are you a football fan? If you're a football fan, you know the rivalry within football. It passed the rivalry within politics. The point here is about the mass gathering and movement of people. That is the comparison here. And I want for stay focused. When you listen carefully to the statement of the PPRC chairman, it is all about the risk of disorderly behavior when you get a huge mass of people moving from one place to the other. And this is not apples and oranges. Unlike Lois Lema in example to the best school in Kenima, Holy Trinity. No, we need to talk about admission here. We need to talk about the movement of people, mass movement of people. When you get paddle, you get devil, you get lantern, you get mass movement of people from one place to the other. The point what they make is this: let we not limit with gladness, with happiness as a people, just because of there is a minor risk. There is risk with everything. That's the point I'm making.
So why with all the points where PPRC states, where according to them, these are the interests of the country in peace and security, APC so much believe in street rally? Will not get other better option? Because
it is our right as a union and as a political party for enjoy the provisions of the Constitution. And that is what we're insisting on. As I say, taking legal action is on the table. Is one of the options available to us. If we believe, say, it is necessary, we go down that route.
Legal action against other PPRC.
Oh, yes, PPRC. I mean, Augustine Mara in 2018, police pull law say, for common activity with your vehicle. Now, very similar to PPRC, the action. Then Cultural Crime Police Act. But when Augustine Mara, and God bless him, take the decision as Supreme Court, the one that we get the power for interpret the Constitution, don't tell we say you're not able for stop or restrict the movement of people or vehicle in a country unless there is a state of emergency. And we are not under a state of emergency. So we dey insist say the PPRC chairman is a learned lawyer, a senior lawyer, make he look back at the laws of this country, make he look back at the judgment of the Supreme Court read by Justice Brown-Mark, reflect over them and see if we go get some leeway for let we get discussion on this again. Let me open up the discussion again.
Let me look at another angle of the argument where the PPRC boss states that it has been like this always, dancing and singing. And this time around, they want to change the narratives. Why the APC no agree to that?
Look, we as a party have the freedom in a rightful way, in a lawful way, for campaign the way we want for campaign. PPRC not get the right. Just hold on for me. PPRC not get the right for tell we how we for campaign in a lawful way.
So
in a lawful way, and also the import of fines in the PPRC Act don't become nugatory. It don't become useless. Because this is not the very reason why they bring the finance. If you misconduct yourself na treat while you dey rally.
Is it because not in una favor na make you consider all this regulation as useless, not effective?
If you know me, you go know say me na a human rights activist aside from being a politician. And this is not the first time I have advocated for the rights of individual citizens.
So is it because they're not there in APC then favor?
It's not
they
about
come out in all of this.
It's not about, Ms. Calon, it's not about whether they're in APC favor or not. It's about enforcing our rights under the Constitution. My focus is the right way the Constitution provide we. Now let me focus.
But it goes with responsibility, the right way don't so much they emphasize on. I mean, each right goes with responsibility, and according to PPRC, they get the right and mandate for regulate political party them for ensure they stay on track on whatever political activity that they involve by.
I'm not denying that fact. The PPRC get the right for regulate political parties as long as they self work within the provisions of the national constitution.
Make I take you to, you make mention of the constitution. I take you to section 25.1 of the 1991 constitution, where they talk about the freedom of movement and also freedom of expression and freedom for associates. But also section 25.2 of the same constitution curtails some of them right here for public
under
safety,
special
public morality,
circumstances
and public health.
Yes, under special circumstances.
You not think saying that some of them things that PPRC look at and draw the decision from?
Well,
When
no.
we say they also look at the constitution.
No, well, PPRC, when they talk, no make reference to which you they talk. So probably they want for important in the discussion. The point where PPRC...
Will they make reference to the constitution also?
Let me just give you this. I'll take note whilst I listen to the statement of the PPRC chairman. He said rallies have been transformed into platforms of lawlessness. I mean, we don't see lawlessness in our football matches. We don't see lawlessness in our various areas, even inside parliament, not only limited to Sierra Leonean parliament. In the past 5 years, we don't get situation where there has been a breakout of fight in parliament 3 times, more than 3 times. Are you telling me that we will ban parliament because there is a risk, say, where 2 political parties do not agree on something, they will become rowdy and throw blows? No. Make that risk day of disorderliness, not limit we right as citizens. The police then they for provide security and maintain law and order. Let them not run away from that responsibility there. In Ghana, in Nigeria, we get elections just a few weeks ago, where the population is over 200 million. They not stop street rallies.
Okay.
We don't see they kill people there. Do ya with the beg. We not allow the Sierra Leoneans. The only person who I believe say they afraid for make rallies not there now the SLPP, because that is the opportunity for let people then basically tell them say we are tired with you, and on the 24th of June 2023 we dey give them.
Okay, continue for the with we
The
name
lock.
na Adi Macaulay, in the deputy campaign manager for presidential candidate Samoa Western Area. As today inside the program, Ready Democracy, they look at the decision where PPRC take for put a ban on street rally, and we get 2 political party them at the studio, the ruling SLPP and the opposition APC party.
Now, I come.
Will they bring you
I'm
coming
coming.
Yeah.
You were there. You were on the television. Also, the advocate for these very street rallies, and these rallies lost lives of both security officers, and at the same time, yes, at street rally, the life, the loss of security officers at the same time citizens.
You can regard August 8 as street rallies or riots.
Now rally, he support them. He support them. The very facts I'm talking, what you are to say here, rallies, people don't lose life. Any tendency for get mass crowd out of the streets, where you're not able for control and conduct, where you're not able for control and conduct, where you get the potential for less life than loss. And over time, this don't be a concern to the citizens of this country, civil society organizations. Over time, we don't inform the amendment of the PPRC Act. And with all of them in they say, okay, it also there in the Constitution saying a government responsibility for safeguard the peace and security of this country. And we don't see a lot of rudeness and lawlessness we associate with some of them rallies there.
So,
if all political parties at the camp, please, including the APC, don't agree for let them ban the street rallies because of them concerns they are, where then SSF, it don't affect them. It don't affect every other political parties. We all don't agree, including the APC. You cannot probate.
But the APC is not complaining. They're not complaining, saying they support them. They're not complaining, saying
I'm telling you, in the meeting, the APC, now you don't state now, I come. Their Secretary General was there. At the same time, one of the senior party members, Dr. Richard Conte, he was in that meeting as well as we own Secretary General been there.
So
they unanimously agreed for the ban on street rallies. And over and above all, every community in this western area must get field where they accommodate a number of people in that field a day. And at the same time, with the supplement, also then we activities or we messaging through radio programs. And like what Sidoya, I'm reaching a mass crowd. So the issue here is talking about hardship or talking about difficult times. If we don't take government in a period of austerity after APC don't enjoy economic boom, and we have been able, out of austerity, we have been able to roll government programs. We don't able for make sure say we flagship project to do achiever. Anybody can imagine if na APC be in power, waiting for them be the fate of Sierra Leoneans at this material time. But that's a different kettle of fish. One who come for discuss and we will discuss. So waiting at the same now on 2.11 for Razia, that the APC don't subscribe as much as all other political parties, including the SLPP. We all don't agree say we for ban street rallies because it dangerous to the lives and properties of Sierra Leoneans. And we all don't agree say we go to assemble na community fields or other open areas and also supplement that with radio programs.
No, wait, quick one, we cancel you. And they cancel you quick one. And like Lawrence Lima, over the past years, then we don't see the PPRC don't they pull calendar for campaign. If na APC they come out today, SLPP come out tomorrow, PDP, PMDC, then we don't they do them over the past years. Them why you think the PPRC not go by that this year and change the rules? Just 2 months to the election.
Every leadership gets in own style and it get impact where it create, where that impact they go be a legacy where everybody go live for enjoy by. We see during campaign, security officers then go attack President Building House, where to an extent then shoot. Sorry, I'm making a mistake here. Where we see during campaign where somebody actually as President Building House actually and then shoot him. He also sustained injury, and all because of then tensions there, where at least political rallies they cause to the extent some of we being actually the crisscross. You understand? They find other different places for sleep. So for minimize all of them tensions there and all the build out of them street rallies there because of the tension, the mami cause, the insults, the invectives, what then they use. We are in governance. So if at the camp, we are in governance. For tell you say, if na rally, na in they make political party win elections. If not to the rudeness and lawlessness where people want for embark on and use the street rally as a smoke screen for let them able for perpetrate the lawlessness and violence, we get the potential for a mass crowd more than the APC.
So why
you understand?
Why?
But it's not good for the peace and security of this country. And over time we've seen it. The APC don't suffer them. The SLPP don't suffer them. Other political parties don't suffer them. So we not see them say a very needful at a time like this. And so if a leader at PPRC don't make sure say all of them concerns them over time, it don't make sure say it don't project. It don't send. Please, you have to be patient. I gave you all the time. You don't send the PPRC Act for let them review the Act, and that Act they come with some responsibility from political parties. Then
so
we don't decide together with all other political parties, including the APC. than for ban street
Mr.
rallies.
Lima, quickly,
For the
why,
safety and
Mr.
peace
Ade,
of
will they
this
come to
country,
inside, please?
I think that is very good.
Mr. Lima, why is it that all them points we don't raise about street rally may make us disvalue, threaten the country in peace and stability? Why not now SLPP get all the realization your way after another enjoy this kind chance opportunity we wanna be in opposition?
Not to now we ever enjoy this.
Why not now realize say street rally get all in disvalue?
Not to now we realize this. Now, from all the rudeness and lawlessness will be done, they take place in with democracy, in with body politics. The president of the republic says, "I go rule this country in a disciplined fashion." A disciplined leadership is what he provides. Now, what in the happen? When a president says that, it forms part of his policy commitment. So when he appoints people into offices, people get for look at what are the policy dreams of the leadership and make sure say then frame their institutional agenda in line with the policy agenda. And if over time we have seen, like I mentioned there, in rallies, people that don't lost their life, there is too much of rudeness. Somebody they go naked himself in Leone street where it's not good for the morals of this weak country. We have seen that. Okay. It's not, and even in the APC rally, we've seen that. We don't see people they naked themselves open. I don't want to talk. We've seen all of this. Now we don't get a leader and the PPRC where she say, okay, all of this not good for we morals, it's not good for we unity, it's not good for peace and cohesion. It's affecting not just the SLPP, but including the APC and every other Sierra Leonean we know even get interest in politics. Okay. So therefore, what do we do where we go able for help, the progress, the advancement, the good name of Sierra Leone? Okay. All political parties says, if these street rallies now an opportunity for let people that make rudeness, lawlessness, engage in immoral conduct, where they are bugging, even with peace, with cohesion of this country, let we all agree say, let we ban them. Now make all political parties say, okay, yes, we don't agree say, let ban them for the good of this country. But what is the alternative? What do we do? What's not the guidelines? So the political parties, we all agree say, let the PPRC together with the SLP come with the guidelines. We will also be able for help then assemblies them where we able to forgo. Now then community feels them for listening to we leaders them the message where they get from.
Hi Lawrence Lima, plenty thank you to you, National Publicity Secretary, where you don't come make the Sierra Leone People's Party them point on PPR.
Because communities feel just too small for we.
Now, if in case
when APC final decision, going back to PPRC or taking action.
As I say, we get a leadership. The leadership goes sit down, get a steady head discussion, and they go take the necessary and decisions. But again, as they say, taking legal action is on the table.
In a situation that the APC not win in the legal situation, just the assume or preempt situation, what will be the next step?
Well, as I say, let we not preempt. We not even take the decision for go court yet. So we need to talk about if we not win.